After being criticized for hiding from the public for almost a week when he's very likely going to be the Democratic Party's nominee, Joe Biden finally decided to show his face on Monday, and he made up for his absence by going on a media tour on Tuesday, and it went about as good as you'd expect a Joe Biden media tour to go. And there's a series of clips that I want to show you that should definitely give people who supported Joe Biden at least, a second thought at a minimum, but at worst, full-on buyer's remorse, because this man is not capable of leading. So first, watch this clip where he claims Donald Trump is soft on xenophobia, and he describes him as a yo-yo.
And now he's being soft on his xenophobia in the past. So I just can't figure the guy. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way. I want to ask you. It's okay.
That silence was painful. It's physically cringeworthy. And my reaction as I watched that was basically the reaction that Joe Biden had on his face, albeit for different reasons. Now, in the same interview, he tried to make a point, and then he just gave up. Take a look.
We have never failed to respond to a crisis as a people. And I tell you what, I'm so darn proud. And those poor people who have lost, anyway.
Mood. Now, in this next clip, same interview, mind you, he kind of gets into a little bit of a disagreement with himself. And then there's this back and forth between him and himself. And the look on Nicole Wallace's face is going to forever be etched in my memory.
We should be making those masks. We should be moving on those ventilators. We can do that. Why doesn't he just act like a president? That's a stupid way to say it.
Donald Trump was asked on...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I probably best I don't.
Vote for Joe Biden, they said. He's our best shot against Donald Trump, they said. Like, at a certain point, I feel like being incredibly pessimistic and cynical just turns into laughing at the horrible situation that we're all in. Like, we're in the apocalypse, and we're all going down, like... we're about to hit an iceberg. We're all on the Titanic, and, what do you do but laugh? And let me just say this to the viewers at home. You deserve someone who looks at you the way that Nicole Wallace looks at Joe Biden as his brain starts melting on national television. Now, moving on to a different interview, he went on The View, and he made an incredibly sound and cogent point for once about Trump's handling of COVID-19 and whether or not people should return to work. I'm just kidding. Of course, what he said was completely incoherent.
This is Sarah Haynes. In Hot Topics, we talked about Trump saying the government would reassess the recommended period for keeping businesses shut and people at home. Are you at all concerned, as Trump said, that we cannot let the cure be worse than the problem itself?
We have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what.
We have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what. I'm sitting here reading this quote back to myself over and over again, and like I'm the math lady meme where numbers are like flying past my head. I'm literally crying. I don't know what to say. This man very clearly should not be the Democratic Party's nominee. And let me just say, I don't know what his staff gave him before that last debate or told him. Whatever their strategy was, whatever the particular substances that they gave to him were, I'd like to know, so please DM me. My DMs on Twitter are open. If you follow me, just let me know, because I want some of that. Because, I mean, he's clearly in cognitive decline, and it is genuinely sad. Like, yes, this is horrible because he's a bad politician. He's a bad person. His policies hurt people and won't protect people. But at the same time, like, you can't not feel bad because this is clearly someone who's lost, who should be at home spending time with his grandchildren, keeping 6 feet, of course. But I mean, he shouldn't be doing this, and this is a point that I've made consistently throughout the course of this primary. Joe Biden should not be doing this, and it feels somewhat cruel to have his staffers parade him around when clearly he's not capable of doing this. Like, it's sad to watch. Like, I'm laughing not necessarily at Joe Biden, although kind of, but I'm laughing more at the situation because it's like we're in the sequel of Idiocracy, but this is nonfiction. Like, it's the times that we're living in are so absurd that fiction couldn't even really capture just how strange the times are if we made up some type of alternate political reality about American politics. But let me move on because I have one last clip to show you, and I think that this one I wanted to save for last because I think this is like a grand finale in a way, not necessarily because he messes up, but just because the exchange between him and Jake Tapper on CNN was just so cringeworthy and kind of funny. I had to share it.
Sanders is ramping up for the next round of primaries, including in the state of New York.
Excuse me.
You're supposed to cough into your elbow. I don't know, sir. I learned that actually covering your White House.
Actually, that's true, but fortunately, I'm alone in my home, but that's okay.
All right.
I agree. You're right.
You should it's kind of old school to do it with your hand. Do it into your elbow. You're supposed to do it.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, given the coronavirus pandemic, do you think the Democratic National Committee should call off the planned in-person Democratic convention this summer?
No, I don't think so. I think we ought to be able to conduct our democratic processes as well as deal with this issue. But look, that decision we made is the state of the nation at the moment. But I don't think it should be called off, and I don't think we should call off any of the elections.
Wow. And to his point about holding elections, the way that he kept repeatedly coughing into his hands is precisely why we shouldn't hold elections unless they are vote by mail. We need to do this. Will it be difficult to set up? Yes, but make it happen. We have no choice. Democracy must go on. But voting in person is dangerous because people like that will cough in their hands, touch voting machines, endanger workers at the poll who are oftentimes elderly. Like, what do you say? Like, I've worked in retail, I've worked in fast food, and let me just say, people are germ machines and they spread it without even thinking. Like, they cough on their hands, swipe their credit card, enter in their PIN number. It's disgusting. And as someone who is a germaphobe with, obsessive compulsive disorder, I know firsthand how dirty people are because I'm very hyper aware of how people kind of just touch everything, touch their face. It's just, you see germs spreading in real time. So the thought of even more people going to the polls during a global pandemic when the CDC and World Health Organization is definitely saying we have to social distance, we have to self-quarantine, it's frightening, right? To be real. And can I just say that the coronavirus background that CNN has had on for the past week or so, it's a little creepy, kind of in poor taste. I don't know. Maybe, I shouldn't have said that. It doesn't matter. But, like, it weirded me out in a way. So, I mean, look, I don't know what to say about this. We're seeing what was obvious for months. Joe Biden, clearly, he's not capable of running the country. And to put him up against Donald Trump, the likelihood of him beating Donald Trump, I think it's slim, unless the economy really does tank due to coronavirus. I don't know. At this point in time, politics is so weird. But I mean, like, even if he's able to beat Trump, do we really expect him to be an adequate leader? Do we really expect him to respond to the needs of people? No, it's going to be his handlers and advisors running the show. And it's just, the situation is grim that, I feel like I have to laugh at it, because if I don't, then all we have is just, black pill, depression, sadness. So whatever joy we can take out of this horrible predicament that we're all in, I think we should take it and run with it. So if watching all of these cringeworthy Joe Biden interviews puts a smile on your face, don't feel bad about it. I'm not, because sometimes reality is stranger than fiction, and we are certainly in that time.